All right. So
Let's go.
today's training, I'm going to talk about how to use Instagram, Facebook the right way. So what do I mean by the right way? I'm going to explain to you that in a little bit. What to post to get the most out of it, and the only filter that really matters, and 5 questions to ask before you post it, and then some posting schedules. I'm not only giving you the time, I'm giving you a breakdown from Monday to Sunday. Okay, sounds good? Are you guys ready? So Facebook, Instagram, which one is better? For those of you who use Facebook a lot, you probably have a huge amount of family, friends, or people that you work with on there. For Instagram, you have some of those people, but you're there mostly to find new content, something creative, something trendy, something popular, correct? So as of early this year, Facebook has almost 3 billion active users daily, and Instagram has about 1.5 to 2 billion. However, Facebook engagement is very low. It's about 0.7%, whereas for Instagram is 4.21, so that's about 6 times more engagement. But it range anywhere between 3 to 6 times the engagement. And then the age group on Facebook is a little bit older. The majority of the people are actually above 34. And for Instagram, the majority, like 60% of them, are between 18 to 34. So you see a lot of younger people. So if you're depend on the product or the service that you're selling, or depends on the people that you're targeting, you want to use social media a bit differently. And then you can read more about this. I'm going to share the slides for you guys because time is short. But let's just say you're trying to build up a brand, like a personal brand, and you want to do advertising and try to get people to know about you the most. Then Instagram might be a bit better because it's a good platform to attract new people. And also the advertising is like in the form of storytelling. So it's more natural, it's more organic. Whereas for Facebook, they actually purposely demote sponsored content because they don't want it to be too spammy. They want to make it like a better user experience. Even if your ads is like really good, your ads still don't get seen by that many people, and it also has to tailor to a certain group of people. And only 40% of those Facebook users actually watch the ads, but on Instagram, it's the opposite. Actually, more people. We can talk more about that in depth, which platform is better. But hey, why not just work on both, right? So I'm going to share with you guys why stories are better than newsfeed, and why things have changed a little bit, and why stories is the way to go. And I'm going to give you guys tons of samples that are specifically for real estate and what I've observed, and all that good stuff. So like I mentioned earlier, Instagram is more intimate. So if you want to actually build rapport, get like good engagement and get new clients, Instagram is the way to go. It's like an almost equivalent of sending emails marketing every single day that you post, or every post, because what Instagram does is people who follow you, they're basically opt in to your email list, right? For those of you who don't know like email marketing, what they do is they get you a whole list of emails, and then they send out those different emails, right? So I'm going to use this email kind of example quite a bit going forward. But in order for your stories to get people to listen to, or people to open your stories or read your email, you need to have certain things in place in order for that to work, right? To have the higher open rates. So same thing with social media. And according to the social media marketing world, stories are going to outpace feeds. I mean, this is like 3 years ago, so I'm pretty sure stories already outpace feeds. So with that being said, how do we use Instagram and Facebook the right way? For a lot of us, we turn on those things and then we get distracted, and we end up watching a bunch of cat videos, a bunch of funny videos, a bunch of movies reviews. I get caught in those a lot of times. So that is not a good way to use social media. That's actually social media actually being used by social media, right? It's the reverse. So you want to use social media. You have to use it in purposefully way. So treat it like a business. So make it like social business, or like a business media rather than social media. Yes, you should interact with people. You should create and nurture relationships using social media. But at the same time, don't spend like hours and hours you watching cat videos, right? I mean, if you prefer to, you can. But I think that's just the way things are because social media, they have a lot of like scientists, like behavior scientists and all sorts of scientists working 24/7 to engineer this to make sure that you stay engaged. So all the stuff that they put for you, the algorithms, is supposed to engage you and keep on you watching, encourage you to watch even more. And that's the reason why it's so addicting, right? Because it makes your brain release certain dopamine and endorphins and all these chemicals that keep you focused and pay attention to those things. So here's one thing that I've seen a lot of people do that's not correct. If you post pictures, I think a lot of pictures should actually be in stories because sometimes you don't want those pictures to stay there permanently. And let's just say somebody like a picture. Imagine you have like 50 people like a picture and then you kind of like want to take that away. You kind of like lose all that gains, right? So what you do is you can create, like put like a test. So you can post a picture as a test and see if that content has a lot of engagement or not. And then you can use that and create like a long form like content or some sort of text to describe what the story behind that picture is, right? So that's one way to do it. And every picture or reel that you post should like have this badass filter. So what do I mean by that? Your content, as you know, as someone who wants to be an influencer, if you want to be an influencer or you want to be someone who has authority or credibility, what you should be posting are not just cat videos all the time. Especially a realtor, you should be standing in front of a very nice home, a luxury homes, or a nice home in the area that you want to work in. And you want to be talking about those things. You want to be doing market updates. You want to talk about, you know, where things are with the rates. And if you don't know about the rates, you know, ask somebody like Bobby, right, to hop on a quick video with you. It could be like, you know, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, because stories are designed in 15 to 30 seconds in sessions anyway, right? So that's one way to do it. So keep this in mind when you create something. Don't just post just for the sake of posting because you want something there. Post with meaning, with purpose. And I'm going to talk all about purpose today and how you can actually make the most out of it. So before you post something, you have to ask yourself 3 questions. Who is my audience? Who is going to actually be watching this stuff? Like home buyers, home sellers. If you want to get more listing, you want to be targeting what? The home sellers, the people who have money, who have equity, who have homes that have a lot of equity, right? So probably people in their 40s, 50s who bought their homes in their 30s and have some equity already. And the kids are now grown and they might want to downsize or one day upgrade, whatever the reason. But whatever people that you're targeting, you should talk to those kind of group of people. So your content should be tailored to those people. So what does your audience want? What's in it for them, right? That's the what is in it for me. Well, so you always have to treat your audience with respect for their time. Like, what do they get to gain from that post? And what do you want them to do next? Obviously, to them to take certain actions, correct? So with that being said, I have 5 questions that everybody should go through, and I can send this to you guys. So answer these questions as you are creating content. It'll become second nature when you create enough reels, enough posts, enough stories. So the first one is, what is the purpose of creating this content in terms of moving my business ahead? Like, think about business. Will this post actually hurt my reputations or increase and elevate my status so I become a more valuable, more knowledgeable, more experienced real estate agent, right? You always want to deliver a lot of high content, high value posts. Does this deliver value, respect the viewer's times, right? Does your post create trust? Does it help them to get to know more about you? So let's just say you're a realtor, but all you do is just post, cat videos. They're going to like, oh, this person is spending most of their time doing like stupid things and posting meaningless things, right? But versus a realtor who goes out there and do like a tour of like a luxury home or $1 million home or $2 million home in the area that they want to live in. Obviously, they're going to choose the realtor that posts content that are helpful, right? Number 3, does it move the prospect towards the sales? Does it let them get to know more about you? Like, if you post personal stuff, it's great. Hey, you can post about your family outings on Sunday, you cooking some nice meal for your wife and kids, or vice versa. That's great because they get to know a little bit more about you. hey, this person, even though they're like top-notch agent, but they actually, respect their time and they actually care about their family enough to make the time to do these things. I like that. I can connect with that, right? Does it help them love you, right? Do they vibe with you? Do you speak their language, right? You seem like a person they would like to work with? Your personality, how you portray yourself. What does it make them trust you? This is a big factor. People do business with people who they trust or like and love. So these are I call them KLT factor. This is nothing new. We talked about this before, but all these three things basically help the prospect to gravitate towards you, right? Does it deliver great value and does give you the permission to make a strong call to action? When somebody gives you enough value, there is no reason for you to resist them, right? Because obviously they benefit so much from it, right? So if you can keep on giving a lot, giving all the time, when it's time for you to ask them for a favor, to take an action, most likely they will listen to you. Last one. This is for you. And this is part of the reason why a lot of us, should consider before posting something. Is it worth the 10 minutes, the 15, the 20, 30, an hour to create this content? Or should you be better off just spending that time with your spouse, partner, meditating, reading, playing golf, do something else with your time that's more meaningful and that can help you grow or create a better relationship in other aspects of your life or elevating your life in a better way, right? So don't let social media use you. Use it, right? Now that we get that out of the way, I want to give you guys the sauce and the secrets to everything. This is also nothing new, but I am trying to make it as easy as possible for you guys to implement this time around, okay? I'm going to give you a step-by-step plan. So here's the story client attraction formula. We attract clients. We don't, right? Just like attracting, we want people to gravitate towards us. The first thing you got to do is you got to have some sort of hook. Your content or your starting content should create some curiosity, because curiosity keep on watching and engaging. We talked about hook, story, offer, remember, right? So I can share, for those of you who don't remember all the hooks that I created for you guys, there are 100 hooks that you guys can use. I'm going to share it with you guys again in the link. Remember this? All these hook ideas that people use in their social media. All right, I'm going to send this again. But basically, your content, when you start out, it should have a hook. One second. So the first thing is you got to hook people in, and then you got to deliver the content, the value, right? And then after you deliver all that value, you can have a call to actions. And all these 3 C's gives you clients, all right? There should be 4 to 6 stories of about 15 seconds each. You don't want them to be too long because it has to be concise, because people's attention spans are very, very short these days. So you want to deliver like really, really, really catchy ones in the beginning, and then really high content. It's all about extreme emotions or extreme ends, and then people will keep engaging, right? Because the moment they don't see anything new, different, they're just going to be disengaged. So we're looking about 60 to 90 seconds. So it's not that long. If you create these many posts, it should take you about 30 minutes max. And if you do it fast enough and you do it often enough and you get really good, maybe 10 minutes. So here's the thing that I learned. Even if it's just a story, always add caption, because a lot of time people watch these at different times of day, in the office, maybe they're with somebody, they're with their kids, but maybe they're in bed, so they don't want to turn on the volume. So you want to have captions so you can actually get more people to, if they see something curious enough, they might turn on the volume, right? By default, a lot of these are actually mute. All the stories and stuff are not on volume, so you got to make sure you add caption to them. I share with you guys the apps that are really easy and automated with captions. If you look on the App Store, I mean, it's $54, but it saves you thousands and thousands hours if you create a lot of content over the years. All right. So here's a breakdown of that whole 6 stories. You don't need a whole lot, just 6 stories. So the first one should be a hook, create curiosity. The second should be about a problem and a personal issue that they're encountering, and then have a poll. I think it's poll, not pool. Sorry. So a poll basically engage people to answer. That's create engagement, okay? And then your third source should be teach or preach. hey, this is how you should do it. And then the takeaway, and then you share some kind of like social proof that other people were able to get the results that they desire because they chose to work with you. And then you have to have a clear call to actions. So here's how that story would look, right? So let's say I'm a real estate agent and I'm going to start a story. I'm going to like, hey, did you ever hear that story about Bob who got like 60,000 for over asking for his home in Fairfax? Or you can start out something else. You don't have to say the same thing, but basically just start out with something interesting. Hey, last week I was able to get Bob sold his home for $100,000 over asking for his home in Annandale, right? And then you can go on, because now that you got their attention, you can ask or talk about the next thing. You can either ask a question like, hey, are you tired of cleaning, organizing your home, but it doesn't look like picture perfect? It doesn't look nice no matter what. Here's what Bob's home looked like before. Obviously, you don't have to follow the same format, and then you can have a poll, maybe ask like a question about, do you think every home should get a free consultation from an interior designer or something like that? So we're actually going to offer this in our listings later, give people free consultations to have an interior design come in and, hey, here is how you should lay out your home if they are living in the home, right? And then you can talk about, hey, here's what a lot of homeowners are doing that's not working, and then you can tell them the solutions, right? And this is what you need to do if you want your home to look like a luxury home. Here's how you should stage your home, or here's how you can get buyers to overpay for your home, especially if you want to target listings, right? And then after you share that, maybe you can share a testimony, it's like a screenshot of the reviews or something that Bob left for you on our Google or on Zillow or through a text. Basically ask Bob to say something about you, and then you can take a screenshot of that and then you post on there, and then you go towards the call to action. CTA, my bad, typo. I did that at like 2 a.m. So you can do something really similar, like, hey, so that tip really helped Bob, sell his home for $60,000 above asking. If you want me to come over to your place, be your agent, and help you sell your home for more money, just send me a direct message and we'll get on the phone and talk about it. Encourage people to take action, to either send you a DM, which is right on the platform, is pretty easy, or text you, right? A lot of time DMs are easier because they're already on the platform, and then once they send you a DM, you can invite them to engage with you some more. Maybe do a video respond, and then keep on nurturing that, and then get them over to get an appointment. So there's this 3-step call to action, pretty easy, pretty common for in the marketing world. What people do all the time is they lay out what you're gonna get, right? All the things you can get from that offer and how they can get it. They can either check out, or they can book a Calendly, or they can send a text. They can fill a form, a pop-up form, something easy for people to fill in their information. You need their names, number, and email. And if you want, you can get their address if they want to sell the home, right? And then why they must act now, like maybe limit time, maybe if we are talking about books, we have X amount of books left. So encourage people to take actions right away. Or maybe they should act now because right now the market is very hot and there's a huge demand for homes in that area. And for the DMs, it's also very simple. Like I mentioned earlier, invite them to DM you, and then you can engage them. Audio, I've seen a lot of influencers, what they do is they do audio or they do video, because then it reveals more about you, because texts are very plain, right? If you do video, then they see your voice, they hear your voice and they see your face, and that's like a whole engagement. They get to know and trust you more. Or at least do like a voice if you're camera shy. But if you are camera shy, then you can't be a celebrity. So just get used to the camera. Just take it out. Do a lot of videos until to a point where you don't get shy anymore, right? And if for some reason they forget to respond back to you, just politely, persist that ask them, hey, I'm not sure you got the message. Are you still interested in learning more about this? Or I don't know if you prefer text messaging or if there's a better way to get you easier, right? And maybe if they want to do, phone calls, that's great because a lot of the old people, they like to do phone calls rather than text. A lot of the millennials, the younger people, they want text or messaging, right? So we have very little time, so I'm going to breeze through this. You guys can read about it later. But basically, here's the whole sequence of the entire week of what should be like really good content to post about. I believe you should post at least 3 times a day. It can be quotes, graphic, videos, a mix of all 3. But Monday should be like motivation because, it's the beginning of the week. Some people are not ready for it. So maybe have a strong motivational message, call them out. Maybe, hey, last week you didn't do too great about this, about that. Or maybe you're still hesitant about selling your home because your home is still like a big mess. So here's what you need to do. And then maybe give some polls to gauge interest, right? And see what kind of content you can post next. On Tuesday, teaching. Maybe post something very valuable that they don't know about or something that's pertaining to that particular audience that you want to target. Use polls to get engagement. Was this helpful? Ask them to DM you with questions. And then on Wednesday, you can feature success stories, and because you got to make people believe that whatever worked for Bob will work for them, right? And you got to show proof. You got to show a specific result because that creates trust and builds credibility. Thursday throwback, teach them valuable content that you wish you knew when you were starting out, or that person knew, maybe talk a story about your real estate experience maybe 10 years ago versus now, if you want to do agent attractions. And then Freedom Friday, share your success story and prove to others, that they can live, get the result that they want, and the people who took actions actually got the result that they want, and all that good stuff. You guys can read the rest about this, but basically just engage people, nurture them by giving them a lot of values all the time. Think about them when you create those content. You should always target it like a first person rather than, hey, everybody. You don't need to say that, right? Because a lot of speakers that I've seen online, they start out with like, hey, everybody. You don't want to say that because it becomes less personal. You just want to start out with like a you. Put them first because you're talking to one person at a time. So create the content and target them. You might not be targeting everybody. You don't need to, but you only need to target, the people that you want to do business with, your audience, your clients, your future clients, your prospects, right? Here are some of the schedules that a lot of people, according to surveys, to studies, these are some good times to post. I mean, obviously, whatever works best for you, but it's good to stick to a certain schedule because then people can, like the same people who watch those content are usually up around that same time or are engaging in social media around the same time. So there are a lot of apps you can do that. Our team does that. Alternatively, you can set a schedule. Like me, if I want to have something really raw and like authentic, I would just do a live. So schedule times, put it on your schedule. So on days where you actually want to focus on social media, you can put an alarm for that and then start posting or start doing a live. You guys learn anything new from this? From 1 to 10, how value you guys think this is for you guys? Is there anything that you guys learned that's not new, different? I know a lot of us are very good with social
I
media
have
and we
some
are
idea
engaging
of
it.
it as
Um,
far as, but I think the schedule has changed a little bit, right? And it all depends on the content you're posting. And I think it's good to have this kind of like a blueprint for us to kind of mirror. And if you kind of follow this pattern, I think you will see a difference with your followers and your interactions with your posts. So Kevin can send this out to everybody, and you guys can try to follow it and see if you will see any improvement.
yeah, this is more like a a guide for you when you want to, make the most out of your social media. Obviously, not everyone's going to take actions. You guys probably quite wondering, like, what does Kelvin know about social media? All right. I check his following online. It's very small. I do have some undercover accounts in a lot of different social media platforms that I use. At some point, 10 years ago, I did have a huge amount of followings on across social media platforms in the millions. I don't do that anymore. And I used to have to be a co-founder of a social media startup. And this is all the stuff that these people are doing. Next time we can talk about methods and ways to grow your Instagram accounts or your mostly Instagram account, because Facebook has limitations. But one of the great way that I can give you guys right now is to leverage other people who have a lot of followings already. So let's just say you found a mortgage lender or a real estate agent who are in our network having 80,000 followers, like let's say Tina Call or John Ties or somebody who has a lot of followings. Use them and hang out with them and ask them questions, because when they do those things with you, they actually feature some of those with you, and you get to gain a lot of their followers. All right. And that's a great way to grow. And this is what everybody's doing. This is what John Ties does for all of his people under his network, or all the people that want him to be on this network. Because at the end of the day, John Ties gets exposure from your network. He will gain some followers from that, and you will gain followers from his, especially if you deliver a lot of high value content, right? Who doesn't want to have a lot of information that are helpful? So that's one way. And when we at that level where you can leverage celebrity, like somebody like Ryan Serhant, then you get even more. I know a lot of people, like some of the real estate agents, they leverage Grant Cardone to do like luxury homes. So, and these people are actually here in Virginia. And people like Carrie Shaw and Jennifer Young, they use Barbara Corcoran, John Leahy use that too. So people use celebrity because celebrities have credibility and influence. It elevate your status. And end of the day, you can be celebrity too. Actually, celebrity is actually manufactured. Ryan Serhant was once an agent just like you, or actually worse, does rental, barely making rent, but he climbed up there and he made himself a celebrity. Tina Call was at one point unknown. Now she's known all over the country, all over EXP, the top 1%. So I want to share with you guys this. I came across this, and I share with you guys the Tina Call stories. But this kind of tie back to our training from last week. She was talking about a story about how she found, she was looking for espresso machines. And
Money Saving Sunday. So I went out and I bought an espresso machine today.
You notice, you guys, she has a caption.
I was in a national chain store, Williams-Sonoma, but I had found the exact same espresso machine for $200 cheaper on Amazon. So I told the clerk that I found the same machine, and she said, no problem, we can price match because it's identical. Now here's the difference. I'm a small business, and when I go out on a listing appointment and I am trying to provide a service for a seller or a buyer, and the buyer or seller says, well, this agent is willing to give me half of their commission. Well, then you probably should use that agent because they also have half the expertise or half the experience that I do or some of my agents do. So sometimes you're getting the identical thing, you should get a better price. But sometimes in a service-based world, you are not getting the identical service, so that agent should give you back half their commission if they don't have the experience that somebody else may bring to the table. So just food for thought. Do you agree or disagree?
So you guys see what she did there? I prepared this training like 2 days ago, and last night when I was hopping on, I saw this and I engaged with her, and she actually posted a story first to test it out, the engagement, and then she made this into a video. This is how you actually use stories. Stories is great because it disappears in 24 hours, and you can use that as a test, and if you see a lot of engagement and people kind of like that, then you can say post it permanently on your feed. And look, this actually speaks to certain of her customers, her clients. Nathan Price actually lists a home, a $2 million home with her, right? And look what Nathan said. Exactly right. And when you say you want the best of something, you accept the inevitability of paying the elite for the elite, right? Otherwise, there are plenty of bottom feeders out there. Just prepare yourself for getting exactly what you're paying for. So we are equally as thankful to you and all your agents for not only being the best, but making sure that we always delivering the best, delivering us the best. True walk the walk organization are sadly become harder to find these days. And area hats off to you. Continue to climb and never being stagnant in your abilities and always climb to the next level. So this is one of our clients. You see this? Imagine what kind of credibility you get. This is like social proof right here, right? Imagine having your clients commenting on your video and agreeing with you and your concepts. And this will actually elevate you quite a bit. And this is how the top 1% are actually using social media. You don't see a whole lot of engagement here because maybe she's targeting that small group of luxury clients, right? Who are afraid of, shelling out 6% on a $2 million home. So we have two options. We can stick to being mediocre and get discounted price or commission rate, or we can become elite and charge like a celebrity. Because I would say it's really hard for somebody to resist somebody like Ryan Serhant to sell your $1 million home for 6 or 7%, because obviously the value is there because he has the credibility, right? He's up there. You can't compete with Ryan Serhant. Never, right? So why don't we become one of the Ryan Serhants instead, or his agents or his partners?
We can. It's a manufacturing process.
Yeah, you manufacture it. So you gotta leverage. So always leverage other people who are successful, more successful than you, to do it, to get more credentials. That's the one thing. You don't care about hashtags. Hashtags don't work anymore, guys. Hashtags are there to attract bots. I don't know if you know this, but if you go into a lot of those pages that has hashtags, you see a lot of posts that are like a lot of like bots where like, hey, this person make me X amount of money within 1 month, or hey, send your post to this person, or hey, this person did this person did that, but never about engaging your content. So if you guys want to learn more about like how to create more engagement, because here's the thing about social media, when you use it right, it works for you. Instagram wants you to have a lot of engagement. Instagram wants you to have a lot of comments. They actually encourage people to DM you, to comment, to like you. They reward you for that, and they actually make you suggest you in the algorithms if you have a lot of people commenting on your videos or have a lot of engagement. And one way to boost engagement is to reply to every comment. All right? And encourage people to like and comment about it, or maybe ask a survey, ask a questions. This is what a lot of like the highly effective influencers do. They ask questions, or they encourage people to say something in the comments, or have a wow factor where people say, oh wow, this is amazing, great value, right? And I noticed like people, like Tina Kossi replied to every single comments and DMs. Same thing with John Tai. They're really good. And nowadays you really don't need to spend like a whole day doing this. You can actually leverage AI and assistants like on Fiverr, or like, to reply to this content. This guy, he has several 100,000, I think almost 670,000 followers. And he only spent about an hour a day to respond to all of his people and to post content and all that. 1 hour. So he didn't spend all day doing that. He spent only 1 hour. This is him using social media, not the other way around.
What's his name?
Brock Johnsons. He shares a lot of stuff. He's one of the Instagram growth coach. A lot of great content. You go in here, you'll see a lot of values. I suggest him to you guys a while back. So
Instagram pays you just like Facebook, right, Kevin?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, Instagram is easier to get more engagement and to go viral. Facebook don't let you go viral that easily.